Starting to feel the pressure of unstable political climate in the US, Canada, or even the UK or elsewhere, or perhaps realizing that your money and your investments just don't go as far as they used to in those countries. If that's the case, you're going to really love this video because we're going to be talking about opportunities to invest in places like Mexico, specifically even going through some of the numbers with one of the real estate investments that we are helping to manage here in the Lake Chapala area. We're going to help you find alternative ways, alternative countries to park your money and make it work for you so that you don't have to be dependent on the stock market or the real estate market in the US, Canada, or anywhere else, or how those economies are performing long-term or short-term. Hi, I'm Justin Keltner, and on this channel, Entrepreneur Expat, we talk about everything to do with investing internationally, building an international lifestyle, going to a country that you were not born in and being able to get residence there and perhaps establish a new life there, or even just getting a second or third passport to have in your back pocket as a plan B. If that's something you're interested in, make sure to subscribe to our channel because we're coming out with new content every single day about those things. If you're a high net worth individual with $1 million or more in liquid assets and you're looking for help creating a customized plan, both to invest and also get residency in other countries, including Mexico and dozens of countries around the world where we have partners, just go to entrepreneurexpat.com/consult and we can get you started from there. And if you're not quite there yet and you simply want help creating remote income streams or learning about some more do-it-yourself ways to move to another country, check out all of the free resources that we have below in our description, as well as some paid courses that you can take and perhaps do this on your own. Now, today we're sitting in one of the properties that we manage here in the Lake Chapala, Mexico area. And I wanted to go over some of the numbers here, as well as some other very cool opportunities to invest in real estate and even other things here in Mexico. So where we live, we have a beautiful view of Lake Chapala. You can see all the way to the other state. We're in Jalisco. You can see all the way to Michoacan. We're near Jocotepec. We're only about a 25-minute drive from Ajijic as well, which is a gringo hotspot. There's a ton of expats, including Americans, Canadians, and even some Europeans there. And it's actually the #1 place outside of the US or Canada with expats from those countries. So if you look at rentals here, properties that you can buy and then rent either long or short term, you're looking in about the $130,000 to $150,000 range if you want something like way on the top of the mountain with views and everything else. A little bit less, as low as about $90,000 or even $100,000 if you want something farther down, but without the lake views and everything of that nature. And we're running some numbers now. We're starting to get guests here on a regular basis. And so on average, we're seeing occupancies anywhere from about 50 all the way up to a little under 70%, depending on the season. So when we look at some of the actual stats here, at a bare minimum, you're looking at about a net monthly income after you're paying taxes and maintenance and perhaps even a small management fee if you're mostly managing it yourself, but maybe having people help you with the check-ins. So these are fairly conservative estimates. But if you look at like that 67% occupancy rate, then we're getting a monthly net of about $1,350 US per month, giving a real return per year on your capital of about 11.5%. Now, this is not real estate advice. We're not saying that this is going to be your number. These are just our estimates and what we're looking at with our particular clients. Obviously, follow that link below and book a consult with us if you'd like some specific personalized advice. But a kind of high estimate is about that 11.5% per year, doing a relatively self-managed short-term rental like Airbnb if you buy one of these places at $140K, and at an even more conservative 50% occupancy rate, taking off the top around 35% in taxes and all that, you're still looking at a little over $1,000 USD per month, which is an 8.6% return rate annually on your investment. In addition to that, we're seeing appreciation in some cases of 5 to 10, all the way up to 15% per year, depending on the area, depending on the neighborhood, depending on the city. So not only are you getting that cash over cash investment every single year, you're also getting gains that are realized every single year that you can, if you were to sell, for example, you could potentially take out money from that appreciation. Now, this isn't a short-term play, of course. there are costs and fees and things associated with buying and selling real estate in Mexico. And in some cases, those fees are even higher than those in the US. You might be paying 5 or 6% on the buyer and seller side for real estate agents. You might be paying several $100s for notary. The good thing is property taxes are also significantly lower in Mexico. That's kind of another perk. So for a house like this, you might only be paying a few $100s a year in property tax versus an equivalent property in the US, you might be paying a couple thousand. So typically we see anywhere from about a 40 all the way up to a 60 or 70 or more percent savings just on property tax, depending on the state or province that you're coming from. So that's another cool benefit there as well. Now, in addition to real estate, you've got a lot of investment opportunities like some of the ones that we're checking out. There's a lot of like peer-to-peer lending going on here as well, similar to things like Lending Club in the US. There's one specifically that we like, and we'll include our link in our referral code in the description. But that is called Yo Te Presto, which is like I will lend you. That's the translation from Spanish. And those types of investments on average are showing between a 14 and a 17% or higher yearly return on your money. And you can diversify against different loans. So typically we'll go, and there's enough volume on a platform like that where we'll go and we'll invest 500 pesos, which is about 25, 28 USD as of the time of this video, or we'll put 200 pesos or 1,000 pesos in like a given loan. And so each loan will only maybe put between $30 and $50 US into that loan. So if somebody doesn't pay for some reason, they do have their own collection process and everything else, but it's not the end of the world. Will it lower our net returns maybe to 13 or 14% instead of 17? Possibly, right? Depending on the frequency of that. But so far, the defaults are actually pretty rare. We have not had one happen yet in the several months that we've been investing there. And we're seeing around a 16% per year rate of return. They also have fintechs or non-traditional banks, like New is one example. So New is paying around 15% on your money up to about 1,200 US dollars in their what's called a Cajita Turbo, which is as long as you use your debit or credit card with them once every single month, they're paying you 15% on that 1,200 and something dollars per year. You're getting 15% per year on that. It's compounding. And then on top of that, all of the rest of your money will be earning around a 7.5% interest. And that's actually fully regulated and secure and things like that. Again, consult your professional advisor, your financial advisor on this. We are also now starting to manage people's wealth here in Mexico. So if you're interested in things like wealth management services, where you're like, I've got $3 or $4 million, I'd like to start moving some of that money to Mexico and to other markets, we are now starting wealth management as well. We've partnered with some people down here. There's some really good opportunities where we can help you diversify your assets, not just among asset classes like real estate, like stocks, like bank stocks, like investing, like peer-to-peer lending, but also among countries. So instead of having all of your money parked in the UK, where the markets are now very, very much starting to dwindle, or in the US, where you don't know what Trump is going to do next, right? Mexico not only has a very stable economy, they also have a very quickly growing middle class, and they have an economy that is starting to boom. People used to think, Mexico is just a place for broke people, like for broke tourists and retirees to go, and that's not the case anymore. They're requiring for permanent residents, if you're retired, that you've got at least $300,000 in the bank per person. Now, if you've got a dependent or something like that, there's lower requirements for each additional person. But $300,000 in the bank, I mean, for some people, is no joke, right? It used to be that if you've got 20, 30, 50,000 bucks, they'll let you in. Now you have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, or 7,000 USD roughly per month in pension. So there's a lot of very wealthy people coming to Mexico. We just helped a couple of millionaires actually get their temporary residence down here so they potentially could retire here, because they're able to do that on a couple $1,000,000, where in their home state in the US, they weren't even able to make that money last. Here you can invest it. Here there's a ton of opportunity. So like I mentioned, if you've got $1 million or more in liquid net worth, we can help you create that fully customized plan with asset protection, with visas and immigration in one of many countries such as Mexico. And if you aren't a Mexican resident, unfortunately, these options are not available to you. We actually had to get our Mexican residency first before we could start investing, before we could get our Mexican bank accounts, before we could transfer money easily into the country, before we could sign up to to different financial opportunities like this. So in Mexico, regulatory climate is a lot different, and average people can start to invest, earning about 17% through Yo Te Presto and other things as another opportunity. And of course, if you also want a house perhaps someday to retire here, or you're interested in real estate specifically, you can be getting those returns of anywhere between 8 to perhaps 11% or even more in some cases, depending on the market, by just buying property and then renting it out short or long term. Again, if you're interested in doing that, if you've got $1 million or more in those liquid net assets, then sign up below for the call at entrepreneurexpat.com/consult. And if not, make sure you check out our free resources as well as some of the courses below in the description. Do us a favor, hit that like button. It really helps us out a lot. And we really appreciate you being here. We really appreciate your attention. We really appreciate your participation here in the comments. We love it when you guys say we did a good job in the comments, and we love it when you say that you disagree with us. Either way, we love it. It helps us out because those just boost our engagement. So either way, it's cool. We'd love to have you in the conversation. Let us know what you think about these investment opportunities in Mexico, and we'll see you again very soon on the next video.